Welcome to About Mansfield. It's your audio newspaper. I'm Steve Casillo, broadcasting from the Stillmark Studios, along with the About Mansfield news team. Colleen Daniel, she's way out there in Studio Northwest today. This is the June 3rd, 2026, 322nd edition. Coming up, it's Mansfield news, talk, and information. Let's check the stories we're covering this week. School board president under fire over residents.
Mansfield residents may see increased traffic during World Cup.
City manager asks council to rename Pavilion in honor of Gold Star families.
Rangers Foundation donates grant to Mansfield ISD.
Comedy is coming to the Farr Theater, and we're not just making it up.
Coca-Cola bottlers leave store shelves bare of a refreshing summer drink.
And in sports, North Texas SC falls on the road in St. Louis.
And in the talk segment, Steve talks in studio with local business owner Allen Constantino. We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. This is About Mansfield.
Hey, it's Luke with Cool Hand Electric and Air. Are your lights flickering? Is your AC struggling to keep up? Well, our solution-oriented Cool Hands are the local experts who fix it right the first time with a smile. Plus, 10% of our profits go to First Look and Waxahachie, so your project helps a family's future. At Cool Hand Electric and Air, excellence is still cool.
Cool Hand, Cool Hand, Cool Hand, where excellence is still cool.
Hey, it's Steve Casillo with an invitation to picture Europe the way you've always imagined it. Morning mist rising off the river, hillsides glowing in autumn color, castles appearing through fog as your ship glides gently past. This is the Rhine River in the fall. Paradigm Travel Agency is hosting a Rhine River cruise November 12th through the 19th. Aboard the elegant Ama Lucia, sailing from Amsterdam to Basel. You'll stroll through medieval streets, enjoy warm meals and local wine, and wake up somewhere beautiful every day. No rushing, no repacking, just a relaxed journey through Storybook Europe. For more information, contact Claudine at ParadigmTravelAgency.com. Use the promo code MP111226.
Looking for a night out that's anything but ordinary? Step into Vault Seafood and Steakhouse, Mansfield's premier upscale dining experience. Savor perfectly aged steaks, fresh seafood, and handcrafted cocktails, all served in a stunning atmosphere. Want more? Enjoy private dining rooms and a cigar lounge for that extra touch of luxury. Vault delivers exceptional flavor in a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Located at Matlock and Country Club, Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Unforgettable nights. Unmatched taste.
Hi, I'm Washima Huck, Executive Director of Texas Trust Gives Foundation, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield. This portion of the news is brought to you by Vault Seafood and Steakhouse. Questions have been raised about the residency of Mansfield ISD School Board President Dr. Jandale Crutchfield following the filing of a homestead-related affidavit earlier this year. According to Tarrant County property records obtained by the Star-Telegram, Crutchfield signed a non-homestead affidavit in March stating that a home on Cardinal Road here in Mansfield, which she listed as her mailing address when filing for the school board in 2024, is an investment property rather than her primary residence. The affidavit reportedly states that Crutchfield has never lived in the home and does not intend to, while identifying another property in Itasca as her homestead residence. Public records indicate the Itasca property was sold earlier this year to another couple. Texas law and Mansfield ISD policy require school board candidates to reside within the district for at least 6 months before filing for office and to remain registered voters within the district while serving. The affidavit was filed in connection with a loan involving the Mansfield property. The matter has drawn renewed attention because residency questions were also raised during Crutchfield's 2024 school board campaign. At that time, Dr. Crutchfield told the Star-Telegram she had lived in Mansfield for 6 years and had utility records to support her residency. She defeated Dr. Angel Hidalgo in the 24 school board race after Hidalgo's candidacy was ruled ineligible because he did not meet the district's residency requirements. The current questions surrounding Dr. Crutchfield's residency have drawn comparisons to that earlier controversy. No determination has been made regarding Crutchfield's eligibility to serve on the school board. Mansfield ISD has not responded to our request for comment as of the the time of recording this episode, while Dr. Crutchfield said that she has no comment at this time.
North Texas transportation agencies are preparing for a significant increase in travel during FIFA World Cup 2026, with officials estimating daily trips across the region could rise from more than 8.5 million to as many as 10 million. 9 World Cup matches are scheduled at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, known as Dallas Stadium, during the tournament between June 14th and July 24th. Officials say communities throughout the region, including Mansfield, are expected to experience increased traffic as visitors travel between airports, hotels, entertainment districts, and match venues. While regional transit agencies such as Trinity Metro, DART, and Trinity Railway Express are expanding service for World Cup visitors, Mansfield residents will likely notice the greatest impact on area roadways, as neither Mansfield nor Arlington operates a traditional public transit system. Transportation officials are encouraging travelers to allow extra time for trips during the tournament. Regional planners say traffic patterns and transportation plans may be adjusted throughout the event as officials respond to crowd sizes and travel demand. This keeps the focus on what Mansfield residents are actually likely to experience. More cars on the road, especially around major corridors connecting Mansfield to Arlington, Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, and Mansfield Stadium, which will host Team Czechia during the tournament.
Mansfield City Manager Joe Smolinski asked the City Council Tuesday night last week to rename a pavilion at the city's Julian Field Park Veterans Memorial in honor of Gold Star families, declining an earlier decision to place his family name on the structure. Speaking during the council meeting, Smolinski thanked the city for recognizing his family during Saturday's Veterans Memorial Day ceremony, calling the gesture, quote, deeply moving and a core memory his family will never forget. But Smolinski said conversations and reflections following the ceremony led his family to believe the pavilion should represent something larger than themselves. Smolinski referenced remarks made by Mansfield Veterans Memorial and Tribute Foundation President Tim Milligan during a Veterans Day Park dedication ceremony about the sacrifices made by Blue Star and Gold Star families. After what he described as much thought and prayer, Smolinski said he, along with his father and sons, unanimously agreed the pavilion should instead be called the Gold Star Pavilion. He said the family hopes the pavilion can help educate future generations about Gold Star families, Blue Star families, and Purple Heart recipients, while honoring the sacrifices made by military families.
Common Ground Mansfield is once again working to fight childhood hunger in our city this summer through its Feed the Kids program. The nonprofit coalition hopes to provide weekly food bags to as many as 12,000 Mansfield ISD students during the 12-week program, which runs through August 5th. The effort is funded entirely through donations and staffed by volunteers. Organizers say the program costs about $100,000 each summer, with each food bag costing just under $10 and containing a week's worth of breakfasts, lunches, and snacks. Food bags are distributed through several Mansfield area food pantries, including First Methodist Mansfield, the HIM Food Bank, Mansfield Mission Center, St. Jude Catholic Church, Bethlehem Baptist Church, Rush Creek, and RCCG Lighthouse for the Nations. Volunteers of all ages are welcome, including young people who help pack, sort, and deliver food bags. Weekly volunteer sessions are held each Wednesday at the program's headquarters on East Broad Street. The program began in 2005 after school officials identified students returning from summer break hungry. In addition to food, children receiving bags this summer will also have access to free books donated through community partners. Organizers are seeking donations of food, financial contributions, and volunteers to help sustain the effort throughout the summer.
The Texas Rangers Foundation presented Mansfield ISD with a $60,000 donation Thursday evening to help fund the purchase of Chromebooks for students across the district. School officials say the devices will support classroom learning and provide students with greater access to educational technology. The donation is part of a partnership between Mansfield ISD and the Rangers Rangers Foundation aimed at supporting student success. District leaders expressed appreciation for the contribution, noting that the new Chromebooks will enhance learning opportunities for students throughout the school system. The check presentation took place before the Rangers-Astros game at Globe Life Field. Got a couple of shows coming up at the Farr Theater that you may be interested in only if you like to laugh. And with us, by the way of the interwebs, is Brent Hale with the Understudies. First of all, Brent, welcome to About Mansfield.
Well, thanks for having me, Steve. Appreciate it.
Tell me about this show that's coming up, the Understudies.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a great little improv troupe coming to the Farr Theater in Mansfield for our summer tour. We're a brand new troupe, so we're stepping out on faith and really thinking we're going to bring a lot of good humor to Mansfield. And very excited to be at the Farr Best. That's a theater that I've had a lot of experience with in the past, and love that we're getting to bring our first show there.
Tell me about the Understudies. You mentioned it's improv, and from what I've read, no show is the same. How many people are a part of the Understudies?
So we have 6 performers, 7 if you count me. I act as the host, and sometimes I dive headfirst into the deep end along with the rest of the team. We have 6 primary performers, and yeah, it's all improv, so nothing is scripted. Every scene starts in some shape, form, or fashion with an audience prompt. So we may ask for a single word. We may ask for your favorite place to eat. We may ask for the one thing that your grandma did that drove you nuts. It just kind of depends from show to show. And so, yeah, you'll never see the same show twice with the Understudies. What
are some of the crazy topics that the audience has come up with in the past?
Oh, when you're dealing with audience suggestions, the sky is the limit for sure. We try to give some parameters as we ask for suggestions. So usually we don't just go, hey, give us anything, but we may ask you, your favorite place to eat. And usually when we go into that, we have kind of a mindset of what we think an audience might say. But yeah, they continually surprise us every time we ask that. We've had, a place you would not want to have your last meal. We'll get prison for that every now and again, which I tend to agree. That's a terrible place to have your last meal.
Sure.
And so the audience drives those suggestions, and we're only as funny as the audience is.
You mentioned you've got the summer tour. You've got 3 shows. They are all in different months, June, July, and August. Tell the audience when the shows are coming up at the Farr Theater.
Absolutely. So our first show at the Farr will be June 19th, followed up by July 17th, and then August 14th. All of these are Friday nights. All shows start at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. We do recommend you get there early. All of our tickets are general admission. So if you want to get that front row seat where you really have that active voice, get there when the doors open.
That's right. The Farr Theater does have a problem of people rushing the stage. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's why we chose Mansfield, for their crazy shenanigans, for sure.
June 19th is the inaugural The Understudies improv show at the Farr Theater. How can people buy tickets?
Yeah, so the easiest way to buy tickets is to go to our website. And that's understudiescomedy.com. You can find some FAQs about the show, hopefully answer all of those, some information about the cast and who they are. And yeah, most importantly, you can get that ticket link there and buy tickets. Tickets are $25. We'll also sell tickets at the door, but realistically, we're hoping to not have any of those left to sell. So go ahead and get those quick, because they are flying off the shelves, as they say.
Guaranteed laughs?
We always like to say the show is helplessly unscripted and hopefully funny.
There you go. The Understudies at the Farr Theater, June 19th, July 17th, August 14th. It's the summer tour coming to Mansfield. Go buy tickets at understudiescomedy.com. Brent Hale, any last minute words?
No, come laugh with us. We'd love to entertain every last one of you here in Mansfield and the surrounding cities.
Brent Hale, the host of the Understudies. We look forward to seeing you on June 19th. Thanks for being on About Mansfield.
Thanks for having me, Steve. Appreciate you.
Fans of Topo Chico mineral water may have noticed empty shelves at local grocery stores, and the shortage is not only affecting retailers in Mansfield, but across Texas and much of the United States. The shortage stems from production issues at Topo Chico's historic water source in Monterrey, Mexico. Coca-Cola, which owns the brand, temporarily halted production of the original mineral water while updates and repairs are made to the source and bottling operations. The shortage primarily affects the classic Topo Chico mineral water sold in glass bottles. Other Topo Chico products, including flavored sparkling waters and canned beverages, remain available in many stores. For Mansfield residents, the shortage has been especially noticeable due to the brand's popularity throughout the city. Shelves in Market Street, H-E-B, and Walmart were noticeably bare where the carbonated drink usually sits in its iconic yellow cardboard box. The good news for fans of the popular Texas cocktail Ranch Water? You should be able to start making it with authentic Topo Chico again later this year.
North Texas falters on the road while a Mansfield High student wins gold. We'll talk about it because sports is next.
Hungry for bold flavor and a good time? Head on over to El Primo's to enjoy sizzling fajitas and their signature blue margarita. Enjoy weekend live entertainment and let the kids run wild with an outdoor play area and arcade. Planning a party? Multiple private rooms are available, including the all-new Parrot's Nest to make your event a success. Food, fun, and flavor for the whole family at El Primo's. Visit elprimos.net and bring your appetite. Located at Matlock and Country Club. El Primo's, where the locals go.
This summer, be the super parent of the season with the Hawaiian Falls Staycation Splash Pass. For just $49.99, get unlimited visits to your home park all summer long. Skip the hassle of travel. It's time for heart-racing slides, relaxing lazy rivers, wave pool adventures, and unforgettable memories right in your own backyard. All of the fun, none of the fuss. Make this the summer they'll never forget with the Staycation Splash Pass from Hawaiian Falls. Get yours now at hfalls.com. That's hfalls.com.
In sports, North Texas SC dropped a 2-0 decision to St. Louis City 2 on Saturday afternoon at Energizer Park, falling to 4 wins, 5 losses, and 4 draws on the season. The match remained scoreless throughout the first half before St. Louis broke through in the second half and added a second goal to secure the win. Despite the loss, the match marked a milestone for midfielder Humberto Pela, who made his professional debut in the 77th minute. Head coach John Gall said his team created opportunities but failed to capitalize, stating the team simply didn't put the ball in the back of the net. North Texas SC now enters a bye week before traveling to face Vancouver Whitecaps FC2 on June 10th. The match will be the club's final contest before the MLS Next Pro League schedule pauses for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Following the World Cup, North Texas SC is scheduled to move into Mansfield Stadium as their permanent home starting July 4th. Elsewhere, Mansfield High School class of 29 standout MC Crutcher played a key role as the U.S. Girls U17 national volleyball team won the 2026 Pan American Cup Championship Sunday in Honduras, defeating Venezuela 3-1 in the gold medal match. Crutcher stands 5'11" and is an outside hitter who contributed 10 points to Team USA with 8 kills and 2 blocks as the Americans finished the tournament with a perfect 4-0 record and dropped only 1 set along the way. The U.S. girls controlled much of the championship match, winning the first 2 sets, 25-14 and 25-16, before Venezuela rallied back to take the third set. Team USA responded with a 25-20 victory in the fourth set to secure the gold medal. Crutcher is one of Team USA's top performers throughout the tournament. In the semifinal victory over Canada, she recorded 10 points on 9 kills and 1 block, helping send the Americans into the championship match. The Mansfield High athlete was one of 14 players selected to represent the United States at the Pan American Cup. And that, my friends, is a look at sports. This coming Saturday, June 6th, speaking of sports, here we go, is National Garden Exercise Day, a fun excuse to skip the gym this coming Saturday. National Gardening Exercise Day is a celebration of getting active while you're making your yard a little prettier. Believe it or not, gardening is considered moderate exercise. Digging, planting, pulling weeds, pushing a wheelbarrow, and even mowing the lawn can help improve strength, flexibility, and endurance. In fact, experts say an hour of gardening can burn as many calories as a brisk walk. Beyond the physical benefits, spending time outdoors around plants has been linked to lower stress levels and improved moods. So whether you're planting tomatoes, adding flowers to the landscape, or finally tackling that stubborn patch of weeds, you're not working in the yard. You're getting a workout. National Gardening Exercise Day, Saturday, June 6th. Your plants will thank you, and your Fitbit might too.
Coming up after the break, we turn the page to the features section.
Tourism Manager Tim Roberts is here with the monthly cultural arts calendar.
I'm Angel Biasatti. Today, we'll be talking about something that matters to every patient and family member: how to evaluate a hospital's reputation.
June in Texas isn't a season. It's a warning. And this week's cocktail doesn't fight the heat. It leans into it. Smoke, spice, and a little something wild. Welcome to June.
We are Mansfield's only source for news, talk, and information. I'm Colleen Daniel, and this is About Mansfield.
This portion of the news was brought to you by El Primo's, where the locals go.
Hey, it's Luke with Cool Hand Electric and Air. Are your lights flickering? Is your AC struggling to keep up? Well, our solution-oriented cool hands are the local experts who fix it right the first time with a smile. Plus, 10% of our profits go to First Look and Waxahachie, so your project helps a family's future. At Cool Hand Electric and Air, excellence is still cool.
Cool hand, cool hand, cool hand, where excellence is still cool.
At Methodist Mansfield Medical Center, we've been caring for our home team for over 15 years. Today, you'll find award-winning physicians on the medical staff, advanced neurosurgery, a Level 3 trauma center, critical care for newborns, and comprehensive orthopedic care. Methodist Mansfield, delivering the care our friends, neighbors, and home team depend on. That's community, and why so many people trust Methodist.
Congratulations to Ann Thompson, who was the first person to correctly answer last week's Mansfield trivia question. In what year did the first post office open in Mansfield? Ann knew that the first post office in Mansfield was opened in 1860. Looking for the weekly, highly coveted, wildly popular About Mansfield trivia question? You can find it every Wednesday on the About Mansfield Facebook page. So, log on to Facebook right now and hit the About Mansfield News Talk page. As always, the first person to email the correct answer will win a $25 restaurant gift card, courtesy of Joe Jenkins Insurance. Good luck.
Hi, this is Joe Jenkins with Joe Jenkins Farmers Insurance, specializing in auto, home, commercial, and life insurance. I was born and raised here in Mansfield, Texas. We're active in the community, and Mansfield's a town we really care about. Our office has over 30 years' experience in the insurance industry, and we're passionate about what we do and about customer service. For a free quote, please visit our website at joejenkinsinsurance.com or give us a call at 817-472-6058. Once again, that website is joejenkinsinsurance.com.
Hi, I'm Stevie Dawn Carter, Executive Director of the Fleetwood Project, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to About Mansfield, your audio newspaper. Let's open up the features section.
It is the first episode of the month, and that means we bring in the City of Mansfield Tourism Manager, Tim Roberts, with the Cultural Arts Calendar. Tim, of course, welcome back to About Mansfield.
Great to be back. Great to have the summer under the way. And a big summer it is.
And we're getting ready. Oh my gosh, we're getting ready for soccer, aren't we?
There's a little something kicking off here in just a few weeks that we've been thinking about for a few years. And at this point, I think we're all looking forward to July 20th, but we're really looking forward to everything that happens over the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, let's first get into the arts calendar, and we start off at the Farr Theater.
Yeah, the Troupe Theater presents The Addams Family, the raucous musical comedy based on the classic, comic strip / cartoon / live action show, whichever one you grew up on. It's a fantastic comedy. If you've never seen it before, go check that out.
Let's see how you respond. Da-da-da-da. Oh my gosh, yes, the Fleetwood Project. They are one of my favorite groups. And
the final weekend of their absurdist, wacky, unpredictable rom-com, Lost and Found in IKEA. That's actually over at MPM Studio Theater. That's where they're performing this one, June 5th through 7th.
So we go from the Farr Theater to Music Place Mansfield to the Wallace Hall Art House.
Yep, June 18th, the opening of our new art gallery, Freedom's Voice, a special Juneteenth exhibit. We'll have that opening reception at 6 p.m. on Thursday, June 18th. And then, of course, that gallery will be open for you to come by and check out for the rest of the summer, pretty much.
Couple of Juneteenth celebration things going on. Let you handle those.
Yeah, just down the street. After that art opening, the monthly open mic night will be a Juneteenth Poetry Slam and open mic night headed up by Mike Gwynn over at the Farr Theater at 7 p.m. And then the next evening over at Geyer Commons, the return of Mansfield's Juneteenth celebration. So that's June 19th, 5 to 9 p.m. Food trucks, music, all sorts of good fun down there at the all-new Geyer Commons.
And then also on June 19th,
the Understudies Improv Comedy at the Farr Theater. So a bit of a change of pace there, but when you're done with Juneteenth celebration, head down to the Farr Theater for a little bit of improv comedy from this fantastic improv group.
Now, as a musician, this one really piques my interest on June 21st.
From 10 to 5, so 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., it's Make Music Day, and this is a national campaign, and for the first time we're really jumping into it, where it's just about having music all across Mansfield, at the Farr Best, at Geyer, at shops and restaurants across town. It's not a situation where there's any one concert or any one thing. We're really just promoting it and trying to get some things going on to where all that Sunday, there's just music happening all across Mansfield.
So if you're a musician, just go out and make music.
Yes, contact us. We'll get you in contact with somebody else. We'll be fleshing this schedule out probably even the week of, because it's all about just having music anywhere and everywhere across Mansfield.
You mentioned Geyer Field, and June 21st also we got something going. Oh, this is going to be huge.
Yeah, Make Music Day transitions right into Check Out Mansfield, and that is CZECH. Check.
Oh, check, as in the
like
Czech
the old Czech Republic.
Yes.
Over at Geyer Commons, as obviously we celebrate Czechia and the fact that we will be the team base camp for their soccer team during the World Cup. So just a little way of honoring the team, but also just the amazing Czech heritages across all of Texas. Bringing that here to Mansfield. We'll have some fantastic Czech bands playing, Czech food, vendors. So another festival event there on June 21st. So really, that whole weekend, we are just stocked front to back with special events.
As long as there's sauerkraut, I'll be there.
I can't imagine that we wouldn't have the full array of anything Eastern European.
Let's wrap it up then. The Mansfield Rocks.
Yeah, got to peek into July since we'll probably have the next episode after this one. But Mansfield Rocks is July 2nd this year, not July 3rd. I know anytime you switch a day, got to remind folks over and over again with the World Cup happening at Dallas Stadium in Arlington. We wanted to make sure that we were not conflicting with that. So we have moved the event from July 3rd to July 2nd. This year we'll have a drone show. It's America 250. We got to go a little bit bigger.
Sure.
So a giant fireworks show and a drone show. The fireworks will actually be shot off from the vicinity of the Skinner Sports Complex this year. Lots more details on different viewing parties, as well as just the best places to watch both the drone show and the fireworks show at mansfieldrocks.com. So be sure and stay up to date right there as we close it. That'll essentially close out what is an unbelievable 3 or 4 week span with the World Cup going on, America 250. You couldn't ask for a bigger summer.
That is City of Mansfield Tourism Manager Tim Roberts. That is the cultural arts calendar for the month of June and a little bit into the first week of July. And Tim, go forth, stay dry, and we'll see you in a month.
See you then.
Sounding like she had a little fun over the weekend, Angel Biasatti is here to talk about how to evaluate a hospital's reputation in Methodist Mansfield. News to know. Angel.
Today, we're honored to be joined by Melissa Wyans, the new CNO of Methodist Mansfield Medical Center. Melissa brings a deep commitment to compassionate care, patient safety, and building trust within the community. Today, we'll be talking about something that matters to every patient and family member: how to evaluate a hospital's reputation, what compassionate care truly is, and why communication and trust are essential in healthcare. Melissa, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. It's truly an honor and a privilege to serve this community and be part of the conversation that helps patients and families feel more informed and confident about their healthcare decisions.
When families are choosing a hospital reputation, what matters? What should patients look for when evaluating a hospital?
I always encourage people to look beyond the advertisements and really focus on trust, quality, and patient experience. A strong hospital reputation is built over time through safe care, positive patient outcomes, compassionate interactions, and consistent communication. Patients should look at hospital safety ratings, accreditation status, physician expertise, patient reviews, and community involvement. It's also important to ask questions like, does the hospital invest in advanced technology and specialists? Are patients treated with dignity and respect? Does the staff communicate clearly with families? Does the organization have a strong culture of safety and accountability? Reputation isn't just about awards. It's about how people feel when they walk through the doors and whether they feel cared for during their vulnerable moments.
Communication can make such a difference during a hospital stay. How important is communication between the doctors, nurses, patients, and family members?
Communication is incredibly important. It's the foundation that builds trust between the patient and their care team. When patients or families are scared, overwhelmed, or uncertain, clear and compassionate communication can ease anxiety and help people feel supported. Families deserve updates, explanations, and opportunities to ask questions. Patients should understand their diagnosis, treatment plan, medications, and next steps. Good healthcare is not just clinical excellence, it's a human connection. We want patients to feel heard, respected, and involved in their care decisions.
Many people hear about hospital safety grades and accreditations, but they may not know or understand their importance. Why does this matter?
Safety ratings and accreditations are extremely important because they reflect a hospital's commitment to quality care and continuous improvement. Accreditations show that the hospital meets rigorous national standards related to patient care, safety practices, staff training, and operational excellence. Patients should absolutely pay attention to things like infection prevention, patient outcomes, emergency preparedness, and specialty certifications. These recognitions are meaningful because they demonstrate accountability and dedication to providing high-quality care to every patient every day.
How important is it for patients to have access to specialists and services in one location?
This is something that can make a tremendous difference, especially for patients managing complex conditions. Having access to their specialists, imaging, surgical services, rehabilitation, emergency care, primary care in one connected system, it improves coordination and convenience for patients and their families. It also allows providers to collaborate more effectively, which can improve outcomes and reduce delays in care. Healthcare can already feel stressful. Simplifying the patient experience matters.
Many people delay care because they're nervous and anxious about going to the hospital. What would you say to someone feeling that way?
First, I would tell them they're not alone. Healthcare experiences can feel intimidating, especially if someone has had a difficult experience in the past or has anxiety about diagnosis, procedure, or cost. But seeking care early often leads to better outcomes. Our role as healthcare providers is not only to treat the illness, but also to provide reassurance, education, compassion, and support. Patients should never feel embarrassed to ask questions or express their concerns. We want people to know they matter, not just as patients, but as individuals and families.
And finally, Melissa, what does compassionate care look like in practice?
To me, compassionate care is about treating every patient like family. It's the nurse who takes an extra moment to comfort a worried patient. It's the physician who explains things clearly and patiently. It's the staff member who notices when a family needs support. Compassion shows up in the small moments, listening carefully, showing kindness, respecting cultural differences, offering encouragement, and making people feel seen and valued. Clinical excellence is critical, but compassion is what people remember long after they leave the hospital.
Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights on trust, reputation, and compassionate healthcare.
Thank you. It is truly a privilege to serve this community.
To learn more about services, physicians, and patient care resources, visit methodisthealthsystem.com/Mansfield. I'm Angel Biasatti, reporting for the About Mansfield podcast.
Shaken or stirred, you know it's going to be good as Brian Certain serves up smoke, spice, a little something wild in this week's Cocktail of the Week. Brian.
Welcome to the Cocktail of the Week, brought to you by Bourbon Gospel. I'm your host, Brian Certain, and we are stepping into a brand new month and another brand new theme. June is smoking hot and stirred, a month of charred, smoked, grilled, and savory cocktails that match the energy of the season. Think backyard grills at full heat, smoked salts on the rim, and spirits that aren't afraid to show up bold. We are starting with something that earns its name from the first sip, meet the smoked strawberry mezcal mule. Ingredients for this amazing cocktail: 2 ounces of mezcal, something approachable. Vita or Putos works well, but really any mezcal that really catches your attention. 1 ounce of smoked strawberry syrup. I'll give you the recipe in a minute. 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lime juice. 3 to 4 ounces of ginger beer. Garnish with a smoked strawberry half, a lime wheel, and a smoked salt rim. Glassware, love a highball for this one. Always fresh ice for the actual cocktail. So how do we make the smoked strawberry syrup? We're going to take a cup of fresh strawberries, cut the green off and half them, add a cup of sugar, add a cup of water, place the strawberries on the grill or cast iron over high heat for 3 to 4 minutes until lightly charred. Then combine the sugar and the water in a saucepan, simmer for 10 minutes, cool, and strain. The smoke transforms the strawberry from sweet to complex, is the difference between a good drink and one people ask about. How do we make this drink? Rim your glass with the smoked salt, run a lime wedge around the edge, and then press the salt in. Add the mezcal, the smoked strawberry syrup, the lime juice to a shaker with ice, shake well, strain into the glass over fresh ice, and then topped with the aforementioned ginger beer. Garnish with the smoked strawberry half and a lime wheel. The mocktail version, I think we'll call this one the Smokehouse Mule. So you're going to use 1 ounce of the smoked strawberry syrup, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 4 ounces of ginger beer, the smoked salt rim, build the ice in your glass, same garnish, every bit as interesting, just without the kick. So mezcal is one of the oldest distilled spirits in the Americas, produced in Mexico from agave plants that are roasted in underground pits before fermentation, which is where that distinctive smokiness comes from. The Moscow Mule format, spirit, lime, ginger beer, has been a cocktail staple since the 1950s. Swapping vodka for mezcal and adding the smoked fruit brings the fully formed into summer territory. Strawberries peak in Texas in late May and early June, which means right now your local farmer's market has exactly what this drink needs. So June is here. The grill is hot, and act accordingly. As always, I'm open to hear your take and input. You can reach me at brian@bourbongospel.com. And until next week, as Mark Twain said, too much of anything is bad, but too much whiskey, well, that's barely enough. Reporting for the About Mansfield podcast, I'm Brian Certain.
We're back in 60 seconds with Steve's in-studio talk with local business owner Allen Constantino.
Imagine a city where innovation knows no bounds, where dreams take flight, and the future unfolds before your very eyes. Welcome to Mansfield, a beacon of growth and a testament to vision. In the heart of Mansfield, a remarkable transformation is underway. But it's not just about the physical landscape. It's about the spirit that drives us forward. A spirit of collaboration that bridges cultures, a spirit of entrepreneurship that fuels prosperity, and a spirit of community that binds us as one. Mansfield is more than just a place. It's a canvas where diversity paints the picture of progress. From art festivals that ignite creativity to tech hubs that redefine boundaries, this city celebrates every voice, every passion. Mansfield, where growth knows no limits and the vision is limitless. Brought to you by the unstoppable spirit of the Mansfield Economic Development Corporation.
Howdy, y'all. This is Rhett Miller from the Old 97s, and you're listening to About Mansfield.
Welcome back to another segment of About Mansfield. I'm Steve Casillo as we make the transition from news to talk. In the studio today, he has military experience, he has police experience, and now he is a franchisee owner of a pie shop. And we're going to get into all of that and a lot more. First of all, we welcome Allen Constantino. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak on your show.
I got to ask you first, we settled on this day to do the interview.
Yes, sir.
The day of your wife's birthday.
Yes, it is my wife's birthday. Good job, Steve.
So, we do have a crack research team here, and they scour the internet. You're by the way, pretty much with the exception of a Facebook page, you are pretty much non-existent on the internet. But we did find out that it is Marlette's birthday.
Yes, sir.
And first of all, say something nice about your wife.
So, my wife has been.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, it's, she's been instrumental during the transition from law enforcement to being a small business owner, and so she's very selfless. She is the lighthouse of our family. She is the what holds the family together. And I think a lot of men will probably say that about their wives, but, baby, if you're listening to me, I love you and I mean everything about it. Without you, I would not be where I am today, for sure.
All right. Where'd you two meet?
So my wife and I met in Milpitas, California.
Sure.
When I came back from the military.
Isn't that the garlic capital of?
No, that's Gilroy.
Oh, that's Gilroy.
Gilroy is the garlic capital of California.
But it's close. It's up there in Northern California.
It is. It's in the Bay. And so when I came out of the military, I worked security while I was going to college. And she worked at a movie theater.
Huh.
And so that's where we first met.
Okay.
It was a long time ago that we met.
Okay.
Over 30 plus years, I would say.
Yeah. Very good. You're originally from Guam.
I am.
And let's talk about life in Guam. First of all, the tattoos on your arm, the sleeve that you have there, looks very Polynesian.
Yes.
You only lived in Guam for less than 10 years.
Yes.
But you still have that culture.
Yes. So both my parents are Filipino. They immigrated to Guam because my dad worked for the Philippine consulate. I think as most immigrant parents, the way I kind of look at it, they immigrated there for purposes of giving their children the opportunity to be born U.S. citizens. Because as you know, Guam is property of the U.S.,
Absolutely.
like Puerto Rico. So me and my siblings were born there, and then shortly thereafter, as we probably talked before the show, my parents got island fever. Living on a small island like that takes you approximately 2 to 3 hours to get around. You pretty much see most of everything, and you start to know most of the people there. So again, to increase opportunity, my parents moved to the Bay Area, and that's pretty much where I would call home, and most of my childhood recollection would come from there.
The island of Guam, it's not close to anything. Like, for instance, you mentioned you can go around the island in a couple of hours. So I equate that to like Cozumel.
Yeah.
But Cozumel's just a short boat ride over to Cancun. Nothing, I mean, there is not a short boat ride to the next island or mainland from Guam.
No.
It's pretty much out there in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, it's out there in the Pacific. Guam and how it was instrumental to the United States was during the war. With the Japanese. And it was, I think the major Air Force base, I think, is Anderson. It's a big B-52 base. And so, it was still there when I was living there. Like I mentioned, it was back in '83 that I left there. So it's been a while.
Island fever. It's real.
It is real.
It's
It
real.
is real.
You moved to Northern California with your parents.
The Bay.
At the Bay Area, which is actually one of my favorite locations in California. I grew up in San Diego, lived there for 44 years.
Yeah.
So I've been up and down the state many, many times. What brought you to Northern California?
So my mother's sisters and my grandparents were already established and lived in San Jose.
Okay.
So it made sense to have family already established. They could help my parents get jobs, right? There's a sense of comfort, right, that you have with family already established there. And so my dad and mom moved, and it was my mother, my father, me and my two siblings, along with my aunts, two aunts, and my grandparents, all living in a small, probably 1,800 square foot home. Right. But again, with that being said, you're talking to an 8-year-old, and I was in a new environment, and it was great, But looking back at it, I would think to myself, especially my wife and I would kind of reflect and say, wow, when we go back to California and we visit our old childhood homes, because my wife is also from California.
Oh, okay.
She was born and raised in Japan, but then her and I met in California. And so when we go back to visit family and we see our old childhood homes, we get totally just taken back at how so many families, because back, even still to this day, I would dare say that, because of the cost of living, you have multi-familial and multi-generations living in one household.
Oh, sure.
know?
It seems to be the immigrant way that if you're coming to a new country, you're right, grandparents, parents, kids, aunts and uncles, they're all going to wind up living in the same house until financially they're able to spread.
Yes.
But and that was the case.
And ironically, when I talked to my wife, that's exactly what happened with her as well. Her upbringing was exactly the same. Both our grandparents pretty much babysat for us, right? They took care of us as we were young, so that both sets of parents could work. So,
the little that I know about San Jose, did you ever go to the Winchester House?
Winchester Mystery House?
Yes.
No.
You've never been?
No.
Wow.
Because I think it becomes one of those tourist events.
Sure.
And
that you live in that city, so you
correct.
take it for granted that
correct.
Even never going back to visit family, it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But I would probably equate that to us living here in the DFW. I've lived here all this time, and as you mentioned, I was a police officer, so I would work security and off-duty jobs at Six Flags. But I never went to Six Flags for recreational purposes. Right. And so my kids have. I would drop them off, but I never went there. So I think that's what happens. If you live there and then you have some of these major tourist spots, it just becomes part of the background, I believe.
When you were living in San Jose high school, were you a good student?
No. And so, when I grew up, I was a straight A student, and I equate that probably around 16 years old. So I had never played any organized sports at all.
That was actually my next question, because you do have a build of maybe a football player.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
You did not play any organized sports?
I didn't. And so growing up, I had to beg my parents to allow me to play high school football. Never played any organized sports growing up. And so then against my mother's, better judgment, she did sign, and I played. I played for the first time. I just walked on, and I started playing. And so as a freshman, playing on the freshman team, I was a bench. I was on the bench for the first good portion of things.
Sure.
And then I remembered as we were at the end of practice, we were running sprints. And then for some reason, something just kicked in on me, and I just sprinted my butt off during sprints. And that got me recognized. The coach came over, grabbed my face mask, asked me my name, and did that. And then I started getting into repetitions and getting to play more downs, which in turn, my sophomore year, I was one of 3 freshmen that were brought up to play varsity.
No, nice.
Yeah. And so I played outside linebacker and tight end. And so when I got to play varsity my sophomore year, then I started meeting older varsity girls. And I think that was probably my demise, is that, looking at something like that, I lost focus quickly.
Yeah.
And then I started cutting school, missing classes. And then I remembered, fast forward to my senior year, I got pulled into the counselor's office and talked about my possibility of not even graduating, because my grades plummeted from being a straight A student over the last couple of years to almost barely graduating, which in turn would then lead me to my joining the military, because my options were limited, and I think that was probably the best thing I could have done.
That's actually where I could have called it, that the military was your next step. Let's go back to football. I would assume as a tight end, you've scored a touchdown or 2.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first touchdown?
Yes. Basically just a quick out route, and then I wasn't expecting to get the ball, and then it came to me quickly, and maybe a 2-yard touchdown, and that was probably, I didn't score many touchdowns, and so that was probably one of 2 maybe that I did throughout my high school.
But that first one never goes away, does it?
No.
I played baseball for 8 years, from 8 years old to 16, and I only hit 1 home run in 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
But that 1 home run I will take with me forever.
Yeah.
I still know who threw me that hanging curve, and because we were schoolmates, and watching that ball go over the center field fence. That first time always hangs with you, and I would assume you will never forget that first time.
And that quarterback, I think his name was Vince Gomez, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Vince Gomez was the quarterback.
Military. You joined which branch?
Army.
Yeah. Yeah, go Army, beat Navy.
Yeah, it's funny, go Army, beat Navy, but my son, he's Navy.
Okay.
And my father-in-law, he's Navy too. He enlisted during the draft from the Philippines.
Sure.
And so we have 3 generations of military in our household.
Do you get razzed by the other 2 that you're Army and they're Navy?
No. I think everybody kind of stays in their lanes.
Okay.
My father-in-law, he's a great guy. He was instrumental again in helping us, me and my wife, raise our kids, and still even to this day, both my in-laws are still very active in our children's lives and in our lives. In fact, my father-in-law and mother-in-law, my father-in-law's last job was retiring from American Airlines, so they have the flight benefits.
Sure.
Unbeknownst to my wife and I, they tell us that they're flying out to San Diego yesterday because my son's ship ports from a 6-month deployment. So they arrived in San Diego, and my mother and father-in-law wanted to be there for my son as he had somebody to welcome him as he got off the ship.
That is great.
Yeah.
And they went out yesterday.
Yeah, they went out there just for that mere fact to watch the ship come in, be there, welcome them home, and then after that, they'll just take another flight, come back home.
I have been out to North Island many times to watch ships come in. The Constellation being, which I think was number 64. It's a aircraft carrier. Just watching a ship come in from deployment into North Island is magical.
Yeah,
and not. Because I'm not a military person, I was not on base, but you can actually see it from the other side of the bay, and lined with the sailors in whites, all at attention, and it is truly magical. And I would assume that was the case of your son coming in.
Yeah, I think he said that his ship ports at 12 o'clock Pacific, and so. I messaged him throughout his whole deployment. It's weird now when you get to talk to your son and they're on board and they have Wi-Fi. So back in the days when I was in basic training, and then my girlfriend back then would have to send me a letter, with perfume, right, and then stuff like that. Boy, how days have changed. We haven't skipped a beat in texting our son and communicating with him. There were some times that I think he had to go silent, but outside of that, we were texting and communicating all the time.
The Army took you all over the world?
No. So I didn't. Again, I used it as an opportunity to pay for college.
Sure.
That was the big selling point back in the late 80s, early 90s was the GI Bill.
Sure.
And I was one of those students that, just walking around, the campus recruiter, caught me and we started talking about it. And so what I ended up joining was a program before, and I don't know if they still have it, but it was the split option program. And so basically you had an opportunity to join the military during the summer of your junior year. So after my junior year, my parents had to sign a waiver because I was under 18. But after my junior year, during that summer, I went to basic. So here I was again. I never left home. And my first experience from being away with my parents for the very first time was getting on a base, on a bus, and being dropped off at Fort Bliss, El Paso, at the crack of dawn, and then having a drill sergeant get on the bus and start yelling at everybody to get out and and all the males in my platoon, we all got our heads shaved, and it was just like what you see in the movies,
And just like I see now.
Yeah, I don't have any hair. My head is shaved because Father Time has kicked in.
Been cruel.
Yeah.
So you were still in high school when you joined the Army.
Yes.
And it's not like ROTC where it's an after school thing. You're actually in the Army.
Yes. So I was a private E1, and then I went to basic training. And after basic training, I got to come back home, finish up my senior year.
Military is a change in personality, isn't it?
It is.
Your parents probably saw a new Allen when you came back home.
For sure. And I think that is probably the pivotal point that saved me from, hanging with all the people that I did in high school, and then going down the path that I potentially could have gone down. I was one of those guys that I think I was very influential, and so still just trying to find myself, belonging or hanging around with various groups of people, but never really getting involved in anything too crazy. And so it even got to a point where, and thankfully, the good Lord is watching over me, and I never was ever arrested or, in anything major, but I can definitely say that I definitely hung around with not the type of kids that I would want my kids to hang around with,
And the GI Bill led to San Jose State.
Yes, that's right. So the GI Bill paid for college, and it was that opportunity because my parents, I love them, and I thank them for raising me to be the man that I am now, teaching me the good familial values that I still carry on with my family. But they never, as immigrant parents, they could not help us with filling out college applications or searching for scholarships.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
My wife is an immigrant, and we were just talking about this with a group of people last Saturday night, that if it wasn't for her high school counselor, she never would have gone to college because she didn't know how to go to college. She had the grades to go to college. And even when she was in college as a freshman, the counselor called her up and said, "Hey, by the way, you've got a stack of scholarship checks here. Would you like to come pick them up?" And she's like, "I didn't know. Her parents, both of her parents never went to college.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this was foreign to them." And you're saying the same thing.
For sure.
Is it typical of immigrants that they don't know what the next step is?
I think, when looking, and I'll only just speak for my parents.
Okay.
And I think what happens is that as them being immigrants, I think what happens is they could speak fluent English.
Oh, sure.
But I think what happens is that you are maybe not as well versed or as knowledgeable about how to apply for U.S. colleges, colleges here in the mainland. And so because of that, it was a lot of do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
Right. And so it's go to school. Okay, you could join the military, but make sure you come back and go to school, use advantage, use everything that why we are allowing you to go to basic while you're 18, before your 18th birthday. And so is a lot of reminding, let's make sure we try to take advantage of that. And so I had to figure it out on my own. But luckily, I had a good VA counselor that kind of walked me through.
Yeah.
And then I was able to go into junior college, which then because I went into the military, so I didn't take the SAT. Right, I didn't see the value of taking the SAT or even preparing for the ACT
because you knew your direction was going to be military.
Correct.
So why do it? Why take it?
And then I'll also say that as a young or maybe as a teenager, a young male adult, I also was one of those that I would say I took the path of least resistance, right? And so, and all of this will probably come down because I'll start speaking and bragging about my children here later. And so with that, luckily I had a good VA counselor that brought me in and talked me and helped me figure things out. And then it was in junior college that I actually started taking CJ classes. And then
okay, for the listener out there who doesn't know what a CJ class is,
criminal justice.
Oh, criminal justice.
So I started taking criminal justice because, coming back, and so that Steve, the funny thing and the ironic thing is that when I went off into the military, the people that I hung around with, and then I come back years later and I start going to junior college, those same people are at junior college. And that was kind of my thing, is then getting involved with them again, and then not going to class. And then that's when my VA counselor started talking about, your GI benefits are going to start going because if you go on to academic probation, then we could take those away. So that's when I started realizing, okay, I need to get my butt in gear. And then that's when I met a buddy of mine that I worked security with. And then he was a criminal justice major. And I just basically took classes that he took. And I saw a lot of parallels with, the military. And so that's really kind of what led me to pursuing my bachelor's and going into San Jose State. Is graduating with my associates from a junior college in San Jose and then transferring into San Jose State.
Would criminal justice then have been your major?
No, it was actually sociology.
Oh, nice.
Sociology. And again, it was just I was very people-oriented. And so that's really what kind of attracted me.
What then got you interested in becoming a police officer?
While I was in San Jose State, I went back into ROTC, and then I took a reserve commission instead of an active duty commission. And so my wife and I, we were dating, and the reason why I think I chose this route was because My wife, her father is a lifetime Navy guy, and so my wife moved everywhere.
Yeah.
And then my mother-in-law didn't start her nursing education and became a nurse until it was after my father-in-law retired from the Navy, because my mother-in-law was moving everywhere, right? And so I didn't, seeing that and then getting to know my mother and father-in-law, I knew that my wife was going to be my wife one day. And so I didn't want to put her through the same thing and follow me around, and then her not finish her college degree, and then potentially figure out she will go back to school one day once we kind of settle down. And so what I did is I took a reserve commission, and my wife and I got married shortly after college.
Oh, wow. Did she go to San Jose State too?
Correct.
Okay.
She did. And so after her and I got married, we worked a few odd jobs, and then shortly thereafter, I got picked up by Arlington Police.
And that moved you to Texas.
That's correct. And I think at that time, my wife and I, my wife was pregnant with our son. And so, growing up in the Bay, growing up in California, as you know, Steve, the cost of living is very expensive, and it was expensive back in 2000. And so to raise a family, we knew we would have to make the sacrifice and leave all our friends and family from the Bay, and we moved out here. And so coincidentally, going with my childhood story, my mother and father-in-law were already living in DFW.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that is how we ended up in DFW, and that's how I started searching for different departments in the DFW Metroplex.
And you moved here in 2000?
In the end of 2000, I started a police academy in 2001. January 2001 is when I started the academy.
Life's a little different in Texas than California.
Yes.
It's a great place. Yeah, it's the same with you?
Yes. So when my wife and I, before we made a decision to move, my mother and father-in-law were very adamant about coming out this way. And so they sent us 2 tickets to visit. And my wife and I came here, and the cost of gasoline was the very first indicator that the cost of living was significantly different than the Bay Area. Then we started looking at houses. And then that was the second indicator as we started just going to these open houses, seeing the disparity between housing in the Bay versus housing here.
Sure.
And the third thing that really, I think, took us back and made us say, okay, we're going to do it, was my wife and I were walking to Coulter's Barbecue.
Yeah,
and
up on the Little Road.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so as I'm walking to the Coulter's, my wife and I are walking. We're coming out of our car, walking through the parking lot. There was a gentleman exiting, and as my wife and I are maybe 10 feet away, he was just standing there holding the door for us. And then he goes, "You guys enjoy your dinner." And I looked at my wife. I said, wow, people are so friendly here, because as you know from the Bay, people are so busy. People don't have time to chit-chat. There is no friendly conversations, right?
Yes,
yes. I'm driving down as we're visiting. You're driving down the neighborhood, and then the person driving just lifts up his 2 fingers and waves at you as you're driving the opposite direction.
That's it.
And
we are Texas.
Yes.
That's that. One hand on the wheel, it's at 12 o'clock, and as you pass someone, you give them a little couple fingers,
right.
and which I've adopted in my neighborhood and around town. And we noticed the same thing. So 2004, we went off to a recreation center because my son was starting to play baseball, but we didn't know which field. There were several fields, and we come across what appeared to be a high school aged boy, and hey, where is such and such a field? And he points in that direction, and we say, "Oh, thank you." And then, "Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am." "Oh, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore."
Right.
That to get a yes yes, sir, yes, ma'am from a high school kid.
Mm-hmm.
Not in California.
Yeah.
And yeah, the manners here, and the manners matter.
Yes.
And
then, so as we talk about this, even my children, as they got older and we started traveling back to California just to visit, if you talk to my daughter or you talk to my son, they'll tell you exactly, boy, the people in California are rude. And so I told them, I said, it's maybe not necessarily rude, but they're just too busy. They're just too wrapped up in whatever they got going on, and they just don't have time, and they're not thinking about anything else,
We're talking with business owner and entrepreneur Allen Constantino, and we will continue his conversation next week. And hey, next week we're talking pies. Don't miss it. In the meantime, this is the place where you'll hear the latest Mansfield news, talk, and information. Until then, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, engage, connect, amplify, elevate, celebrate, embrace, explore, share, love, or support this podcast if you haven't already, so you never miss an episode. It's free and it's easy. Head on over to our website, aboutmansfield.com. Enter your email address right there on the homepage. We will never, ever, ever, ever send you any spam. We promise.
About Mansfield is recorded at Podcast Mansfield Recording Studio. Hosts Steve Casillo and Colleen Daniel. Moment with the Mayor, Michael Evans. Methodist Mansfield News to Know, Angel Biasatti. Cultural Arts Calendar, Tim Roberts. Cocktail of the Week, Brian Certain. Mansfield Military Moment, Nike Harrison. Post-production editing, mixing, and mastering, Steve Casillo and Andrew Miner.
This podcast is copyrighted by Podcast Mansfield Recording Studios and intended for the private use of our audience. Any of the use of this podcast without prior written consent is strictly prohibited. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Steve Casillo, and this is About Mansfield.